my name is Daniela Anello, and I'm the head of school at DC Bilingual Public Charter School. And DC Bilingual serves students pre-K3 all the way to grade 5. And DC Bilingual is a bilingual school, so half of the time students spend learning in English and the other half they spend learning in Spanish. We have focused on 5 main areas in regards to instruction at the school during the pandemic, during COVID, since the end of last school year to this year, ensuring that we have a highly effective Spanish language program and English language program offered to all students, pre-K3 to grade 5, ensuring that all students receive small group instruction, that we have chosen developmentally appropriate time in front of screens for all students, and that we have child-friendly and accessible learning opportunities via Google Classroom for all students. And the 5th one is that we offer supplemental learning materials for all students to be able to experience hands-on learning and have the books and resources accessible to them at their home to support the virtual learning experience. So it became really evident that we needed to take an approach that was really differentiated per family, per student. And so one of the things that we realized we needed to become really comfortable with and able to do well was connecting with each family individually and checking in on them on a weekly basis. We ended up checking in on a weekly basis from March to June, and we currently are checking in with each family on a bi-weekly basis. And in those calls, we learn about what things are working for them, what things are not working for them. And when they say that they need certain services or certain supports, we quickly mobilize to provide them those supports or to connect them with somebody who could provide them the support. So one of the challenges is that it takes a long time to assess all students individually across all content areas. But once we have that, we know the data of where our students are falling and where we want them to grow. So for example, we have a goal to have all of our children increase their reading levels by 1 school year. That means that we need to do reading instruction as well as we can to make sure that they make 1 year's growth of reading in English and reading in Spanish. Another challenge that we faced is that some families don't speak Spanish at home. And so really the Spanish instruction has to be done almost as an instructional aspect, but also as an intervention aspect of catching up all of the Spanish that was lost during the time that children were not learning the Spanish in the way that we needed them to. Ahead of every new term, we have a materials distribution event. We call it like an expo. We wanted it to sound fancy and exciting for kids. And so we set up tables for every grade level, and we stagger the times that children can and their families can come by to pick up the materials for the month. And so we have to do a lot of prep work to ensure that they have in their boxes or baggies all of the things that they will be needing for that month of instruction. And the families that are unable to come to pick up the materials, we set up a materials distribution plan where staff members go to students' homes to deliver the materials that the students need for learning for that month. But one of the things we realized throughout this experience is that if children are taught how to use technology for learning, it could actually be really valuable, and it could really enhance the way in which they can navigate, say tests that are on the computer, presentations like slideshow presentations or PowerPoints that they have to put together to present material learned, that it really has pushed them to speak up more in class because they have to speak up virtually in order to have their voices be heard, and they have to find ways to communicate that work to be able to share their thinking. I'm impressed by our ability to use Zoom meetings. I'm impressed by our use of Google Drive and Google Classroom and all of the things that we're using that we had before, but we didn't utilize to that extent before. Academics is one piece, and I'm really excited that we're focusing on it, but there are other elements that make it possible for children to learn at home, and it takes other parts of our school and other parts of our program to do their job well, to make sure that students and the families have the ability to think about learning in this way, and that they aren't being pulled from the learning because of other unforeseen circumstances. So I think it's really important to see the big picture.